we need a bit of a growth template. What's your scalable offer? Is it an online course, a group program? What's it going to be that's scalable? Your marketing focus. Where do you want to focus? Then what about partnership? What is it that you don't do? Do you know a PT who can do that side of things while you do their nutrition? Do you have a gym not far from you? Have you started going to a gym that you can make offers there? What about a support system, your community? So what are your action next steps? What's the one thing that you are going to do this week to move the dial forward for you and your business to be that entrepreneur? What is it that's going to really turn the dial forward, help you take that next step? Mentoring with Geraldine is a bite-sized practitioner podcast for naturopaths, nutritionists, herbalists, coaches, and practitioners. This podcast responds directly to the needs of you, the practicing natural therapist. We have interviews during the holiday season and business and mindset support each week, so you'll get the variety you need to enjoy and stay motivated in your practice. Don't forget to subscribe to receive the weekly episodes. And if you want to connect with me, always check the show notes, because that's where you'll find the links to book appointments and, of course, to join the Academy, the membership group, where there's constant connection and community with like-minded practitioners. Now, let's get started. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Mentoring with Geraldine and the Bite Size Podcast. How the devil are you? So we've been on a bit of a journey with the workbook, haven't we? And we're at week 4 now. So if you haven't downloaded your worksheets, then time to do so. www.geraldineheadley.com. Scroll to the bottom of my website page and you'll see it down there, podcast downloads. You just need to sign up or sign in, create a password, and you've got access to everything. And don't forget that there's all the other stuff in there too. There's other free stuff on my site. So there's lots to do. Get yourself some points. Easy peasy. There is a free webinar on there, actually. Totally an aside. I've just remembered it. There's a free webinar on there about burnout. And it's out of date because it's trying to encourage you to join the graduate program. So that's out of date. And I did write a few years ago, but nothing's changed. They've just done more research on burnout. So there's just more up-to-date research where I say how many hundreds of thousands of hits there are. There's on EBSCO, there are now way more. So yeah, you can get yourself some extra CPA if you want. Now, what are we talking about today? We've had our 3 weeks. We've been through a bit of niche it, write the program, and then build that support network. And so this week, so at the end of last week, it kind of bubbles up in my little brain. And I thought, after we've joined that professional community, after we've started to scale, we really need to think about truly scaling our business and moving from that small practitioner mindset, I'm by myself, I'm here on my own, to that entrepreneur mindset where I'm going to create the business of my dreams. It's just that bigger picture. We take that step. We actually have to put that foot forward to take that step. And so I thought, well, that's possibly week 4, isn't it? So it's a 4-week set of worksheets that you can go, if I just said that, www.geraldineheadley.com, go and get your worksheets. Or you can just scroll down into the show notes and the link is there. Anyway, we're moving that mindset. We need to up our game, basically. We all want to help people. We've gone into this with this helping mindset. We help others, we help others, we help others, forgetting that we have to pay our mortgage, we have to pay our bills, we have to pay off our education. And that is the next step to understand, yeah, this is a business. It's a business where I help people, but I also have to earn from this. I have to pay my bills. And there has to be, if you go out and work for somebody else, then you get your money at the end of the week and you pay your mortgage, you pay your bills, you pay your food. And then you have some savings on the side. You have your social security, your pension, all of those things that working for yourself, you don't necessarily do because it's so small scale. So we need to think forward, take that step, okay? We need to grow the business and think like an entrepreneur. So let's explore that mind shift. We want to leverage our expertise. What other things are you bringing to the party? What did you learn or do before you became a natural therapist, because those things are going to help you leverage as well. And they're going to help you create this sustainable, scalable business. And that's what we want, isn't it? So when we're shifting from practitioner to entrepreneur, we need to reflect. So we'll need to answer a few questions to start with. So what excites you most about running your own business? In week 1 of this, we said what excites you about the client, the niche. But now, what excites you about running your own business? Well, doing my accounts has never excited me, but seeing the money in my bank has excited me. So I don't want to do the day-to-day boring spreadsheet, give it to the ATO, all the rest of it, the tax office, Australian tax office, for those of you not in Australia, ATO. So I've kind of separated out those two things, because what excites me, my Stripe pinging in my inbox, that excites me. It excites me when clients say to me, I feel amazing, Geraldine, thank you so much. Remember, that's exactly the point where we say, can you give me a review? What is it that excites you most about running your own business? So we've moved from that niche and the clients to running your business, because we're moving our mindset here. Now, what tasks in your business feel draining or overwhelming? Now, you know mine, and that is the bookkeeping. So I outsource my bookkeeping, and I've just said, I love looking at Stripe. I love looking comparative this year to last year. I sit down and I go, why is it different to last year? What's changed? What's different? I like to look at my retention numbers. I look at all of these things. So I don't mind looking at my numbers. I just don't want to do the donkey work. I find that draining. I find that overwhelming, sending that stuff to the ATO. So what do you find draining? What do you find overwhelming? Might be social media. I've got a wonderful VA to do that for me. If you need VA support, let me know. We have a little business dealing with that to help you out. What's draining and overwhelming for you? And then what would you do if you had more time to focus on business growth? Where would you put your energy? Would it be on lives on Facebook? Would it be social media posts? Would it be LinkedIn? Would you be promoting yourself as a speaker for talks? What would it be? If you had more time to focus on business growth, where would you spend some of that time? So when we think about leveraging our expertise for growth, it's the old line, isn't it? We don't want to work harder. We want to work smarter. So let's think about some things. So we've already talked 2 weeks ago now about your signature program. So that's a great way of increasing income, because once it's created, we use it again and again. Just like we keep selling the same products over and over again, because that is our niche client group. So we sell the same program over and over again to our niche client group. So creating that signature program will increase or give you some greater income. Now, what about offering that as a group or a membership? So when we think about a membership for your clients, it's like, don't really understand that one. But what we might actually be thinking is packages. So a group package, a group coaching, weight loss program. Coaching, you know me, I always go on about it. Coaching is really important to our clients. I did my coaching training, and I've got coaching courses, which are way cheaper, sitting inside my front page there. And you might think, oh, well, I want the certificate. Yeah, the certificate's going to cost you a lot of money. Meanwhile, all you need to know are the lines. You need the script, right? And it's all sitting there. So it's really important, because it does increase our impact while reducing our one-to-one workload. Because if we've got people in a group, it's going to be easier for us to deal with. If we have packages for people, then they've already paid up in advance, and we can just sell them on to another package after that. You've got 3 appointments, let me sell you another 3 appointments. It also means that it comes out of their pay packet now, and then when they go to order their supplements, you're spreading their financial load. Rather than back in the day, they came to see you, we'd take the money and we'd sell them the products on the spot. So it was one big lump of money for them, rather than them being able to spread it out. And it also means that your income is spread out, because you're going to get their package payments for 3 appointments come through, and then you'll get the additional monies from what you've sold them product-wise. Now, have you automated your client touch points? Email lists. So on your website, have you got something so that they can get themselves a workbook? They've got an opt-in, they've got a recipe or something. How are you nurturing these people? So email lists, workbooks, pre-recorded content to nurture leads. So there's no reason why you can't have a recording on your website or have a link to a YouTube for people so that they can go and watch you speaking and so that they can meet you in advance. We need to nurture these people. Are we emailing them after we've got their email address? Are we messaging them, DMing them? Are we asking them in social media posts, say me if you want more info, and then DMing them? What touch points do we have? Are we using a chatbot to do that for us? And then we think about all these things. Do we need to hire some support? Sometimes we're paying out while we wait a little bit for the money to come in. I have never borrowed money to run my business, and I've never taken money out of the family account. I believe that I am valuable. I believe that I give the best results, and my clients believe that too, and they're the ones who do all my referring. But I do use people to do the things I don't want to do so I can stay positive at all times. So do you need a VA for your social media? Do you want to start a podcast? Ella, my amazing VA, could do all your editing for you. The worksheet that you're all downloading, Ella's creating them. I'm talking to them and I've got the notes there and I send them to her and she makes them pretty. There you go. So how can we spread the load? Sometimes spreading the load does cost us money, but ultimately it makes us happier and it moves our mindset from I have to do everything, everything's about me, I have to struggle through it all, everything is struggle street, I'm overwhelmed, I'm staying up till 10 p.m, midnight, doing all this extra stuff, when some of it could actually be handed off at not that expensive a price. Okay. So think about where can we make those changes? We've got to also think, when we think about being that entrepreneur, about taking that step, that next step, we do have to think about our marketing essentials. All right. So that email list I just talked to you about, where is it stored and are you emailing people? Social media content. You don't have to put out a ton of content, right? You just have to put it out regularly. That's all it is. People, when they need to, I don't know how many touch points it is now. It's like 20 or something ludicrous. It's a huge number of touch points before someone will book in with you. Whereas if their friend tells you to book in, tells them to book in with you, then they only need to be told once or twice or something because of trust. So I had one client years ago and she came to me because I was local and her friend had recommended me, but she did look me up. And so she said, oh yeah, loved your website. And then I looked on social media. I looked through people who were following you and I noticed this one person was following you. She's a friend of mine. I trust her. So that's two. My friend had said she knew about you and recommended you. And then this other friend was following you. So I've come to see you. People do go to these different places to check you really do exist and that you are, especially if you're asking to be paid in advance. Your website needs to have some lovely, clear offerings on it. It needs to be, and sometimes we need another set of eyes to look at that. P2P, your other set of eyes to go and look and go, mate, you need to change that. I've got a lovely web guy who can sort things out as well. But things need to be really clear, really obvious, and that we follow through. Like my site, www.geraldineheadley.com, the front page actually has a lot on it and it's almost quite cluttered because I've been doing it for so long. So much stuff goes on there that it's just, oh, I've got to go and update it. And I don't necessarily always get around to updating it. So I'm just at fault as everybody else. Don't be thinking, oh yeah, Geraldine, you're amazing. Or I went onto your website, Geraldine, it wasn't very good. Because at the end of the day, we can only do what we can do. And that's why we get other people in to help us. And that's why we have to designate ourselves time to do specific tasks. Now, what are your lead magnets like? Do you need to update those? I think I was talking about that webinar on my site just before. I mean, how old is that webinar? It's still really accurate. I just haven't got the energy or time to re-record it. But, it's an old one. I would have been better creating a webinar that people can link to that wasn't time sensitive. That one was quite time sensitive. So if you're creating a webinar or a workshop for people to watch, don't make it time sensitive like that one. You make it for the appointment. Come to this webinar, learn about being sugar-free or losing weight or eating healthy or living longer, whatever it is. And then you can link back to that. You can be sending out the link on YouTube via an email. Once you've got their email address, they just have to email you or send you their email address so that you can send them the link. All right. So you might do that through DMs. So your lead magnet can be a guide, something simple. If you're going to write a book, write a book. Don't have a 10-page lead magnet when in actual fact you could create a 10-page book and earn money from Amazon, or not earn money from Amazon, but it's still on there. And you can say, I'm a published author. I'm a published author because I've got a book on Amazon. I don't know anyone's bought it. I've given out copies, but you can still say that then in your media releases, published author. All right, you published. You're not saying people are buying it. So we need to think, what is my lead magnet? A simple page, a cheat sheet or a worksheet is absolutely fine. If we want it to be 20 pages long, which is what they used to be, turn that into a book. We need to get people's email addresses. So we need to get this marketing essential under our belt. Okay. So we need a bit of a growth template. What's your scalable offer? Is it an online course, a group program? What's it going to be that's scalable? Your marketing focus. Where do you want to focus? So if you're on social media, people are on Facebook, aren't necessarily on Instagram. Well, they might be, but not at the same time. So if you post to Insta and then it goes to Facebook, no big deal. Chances are they haven't gone from Insta straight to their Facebook feed to see what you've posted. So you can post the same thing across all of the social media what are they called? Platforms. Then what about partnership? What is it that you don't do? Do you know a PT who can do that side of things while you do their nutrition? Do you have a gym not far from you? Have you started going to a gym that you can make offers there? Now, what about a support system, your community? Now, you're joining the Monday group. Have you, after last week, thought about who your community is and how to get that community support? Do you need to hire a VA? Join a mastermind? What is it you need to do? So what are your action next steps? What's the one thing that you are going to do this week to move the dial forward for you and your business to be that entrepreneur? What is it that's going to really turn the dial forward, help you take that next step? So this is the end of our 4 weeks in this. Obviously, I'm back next week. Don't worry about that. But this is the end of this set of worksheets and this workbook, because I really want you to push the dial forward. If you've got questions for me, email me, message me, let me know. If you want me to do a podcast on anything in particular, let me know what that is as well. And if you want to join the Monday group, get in contact. We can have a chat, have a focus call, see if it's right for you. You know me. You've been listening to me. Hopefully you've given me a 5-star review. That'd be very nice. Scroll down. It's really easy to do, to give a 5-star review on the podcast. So obviously I don't want anything else. You can tell me if you don't like something. There obviously is a 1-star review there because somebody's always going to do that sort of nonsense, but whatevs. So I'm going to leave it there for today. I do want to hear from you. So you can email me, Geraldine at mentoringwithgeraldine.biz. The link will be in the show notes along with the website link for your downloads. And I hope that you have an excellent rest of week. And I look forward to catching up with you next week. And what are we going to talk about? I reckon I'll be able to think of something, don't you? So have a good one, and I'll catch up with you soon. See ya. Thanks so much for joining me today. Don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe to the podcast for the weekly episodes. If you'd like even more support and learning, then the Academy is for you. Here you'll find part 2 of the herbal discussions, more clinical learning, and case studies to support your clients in practice. Bye for now.